On today's episode, we're going to try and figure out why the hood alignment and everything doesn't quite match up on the RSX. Let's get started. So the biggest things to be concerned about or the biggest thing I'm concerned about is the condition of the core support. I believe in a previous video I discussed the fitment issues we're having with this, especially like that are evident with the way this plastic piece tries to match up with the holes here, and they've even like all of this just doesn't quite fit right. So I feel like the core support has been bent in some capacity, so we need to see what kind of damage has been done to it, because this is all buckled and doing weird things. Like you can tell that's not even in the right spot, even right there. So we're gonna take all this off and see what the story is. Alright, so I'm standing here and it's kind of hard to tell, but I already feel like something's off. The bumper is not original, and you know this because if you look in the back of the bumper, that shows that it's not OEM. But yeah, so far things are not adding up. I don't know if these have like specific indicators on them that are, you know, this is OEM or not, but I'm willing to bet something happened to the bottom of this thing. But we got to keep looking. We got to look for something obvious, an obvious kink, if you will. So we're gonna keep looking around here. Pulled the headlights off. You saw that. Took the bumper off. We took the little stoppers out right here. Took those out, and we closed the hood with the bumper on. If I do this again, actually. And then close that, you can see the angles almost line up, sort of, like, I mean, this is obviously droopy. But if I push this up, this side gets there, this side not so much. Which, I mean, if I put my foot here, so, I mean, that right there is really close. So I'm wondering if this is just an issue with the aftermarket bumper. But then again, we also got these massive lines here. We're gonna try and put the foam in and see if it gets any better. Okay, so we're back to where we started with the gap, because now this side is almost touching. This is also with the hood all the way down. But you could also tell it's like twisted. It's lower on this side than it is on this side. Or this is twisted. And that's what I'm trying to determine is what I'm trying to determine what the fault is here, so I can adjust it. Because also when you put the headlight in over here, this whole side seems low. So I'm wondering if I give it a good couple strategic jacks on this point underneath the core support, if it'll push everything back up. Or maybe this side was pushed up and is affecting it as a result. My bet is the core support's lower on this side than it is this side. for whatever reason. Let's go look under the car. Now we're peeking the lower side of this down here, and we're looking for any kind of marks that may have indicated sort of damage or something along those lines. I'm not seeing it though. We're gonna keep looking. The dead indicators is right here. Initially I thought it was this piece of this member right here, which might be a kind of a side effect, but it's not the actual cause. Definitely an indicator, or definitely could explain why this is lower than it needs to be. Right here, this is kind of the dead indicator, and you can tell because it's kind of smashed right there. That and all the fitment problems we're having, like this is what I'm talking about right here. It's kind of smashed. Even if you look up here a little bit, you see this bend is kind of abrupt. Definitely been hammered a little bit. So I'm gonna keep digging for clues here and looking for stress in the course report, kind of like this guy, and see what else we can find. So I decided to take out these bolts, and you can see just how off these things were. This one's closer, but it's not quite there. But you can now see a lot more of the, what I'm guessing is damage right here. All this right here. I'm betting this top part of the core support. Between that and this dimple back here, my bet is this got pushed in and like down a little bit, and because of that everything's kind of off. Like, at this point I'm getting to the point where it's like I want to drill out the entire core support and replace it, but I think what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to try and pop it back to the right position a little bit more, and I'm going to let the bumper be the guide. So we're going to put the bumper back on those holes and see where it wants to line up with this tab, and see if I can fix this alignment, because it's getting caught up on this thing right here, and I don't know why. We got a little I don't know, restless about the whole situation. We just took out the whole T-bar. I mean, it doesn't seem too difficult. So when you compare this side to the other side, you'll see this has a nice straight edge. It's very smooth. I don't know if you probably can't tell that, but everything looks the way it should be. This edge is very ripply, especially right here. You can see that right there is not happy by a lot. This is pinched here, really bad. This is all mangled here. I keep looking a little bit more around this, but at this point I'm thinking that needs to go that way. I'm gonna see if I can do some sort of like something a little bit closer so I can get a better measurement on something. So I'm gonna take a look at that. We're gonna try and pry it that way in just a little bit, just to see what it does, because I'm curious. This terrible idea forming in front of us is the closest thing I got to body shop experience or ideas. So what we're going for here is we've lined up this hole here with the bumper, and it's happy right there. This is still a little low, and you can tell because of that being like this, as well as the measurements I have over here. It's pretty good this way. I might need to go that way just a smidge, so maybe we'll kind of push it that way a little bit, but see what we can do by pulling this up just a smidge. So as of right now, this is where we sit. The bumper's not completely bolted on, but we got the front tabs over here done, and everything's just kind of clipped. But this is where we sit, more or less. There's still a little bit of a gap here, but I feel like this is almost there. I feel like it just needs to go up and maybe out a little. It looks way better. There's less gap. And honestly, I'm kind of happy with it. I wish that side was just a little tighter, like it should be, and then I'd be happy. So now the only thing we gotta do is address this. This fender is kind of munched, but I feel like once we put a little pressure on this and get it away from the hood, that it'll be better, because it's kind of bent over like that on the inside lip here, and that'll push back down and fix this gap. And then we just gotta tap up where the inside of this is for the tabs, and then fix all of the tabs up here for the fender liner. So once we do that, it'll all be good. Not sure how much content there was in this, but there was a lot of experimentation, especially in bodywork. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing, and stay tuned for more, because there will be more. We're not done. I'm just starting the bodywork to figure out what's going on structurally. Still thinking about the core support though, so it's not a possibility. So stay tuned, and we'll see you in the next one. See ya.